Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where we just implemented a small fix for changing our building selection when we're zooming out and trying to go to a different world hex, because we ran into an issue of significant problems with the hex selection window only on getting our transfers from world hex to world hex. So, lesson learned, we're going to go to this world hex, and we're going to just grab a piece of land in the center here. Go ahead and demolish that, construct ourselves up a postal office, and then we're going to need to cheat ourselves a little bit of money to test this. We'll go ahead and go for 12,500. That should be fine. Come on, go ahead and unpause. So we'll select this guy, get a delivery vehicle in that slot. Obviously it fills up too much. That's not what we're really worried about right now, but we're going to go ahead and... oh, we do get null reference exceptions here. Line 20. If business.selected hex is not equal to int3.null. I think what we need to do is we need to change this from using selected world hex to get world hex by index. So let's just go ahead and do that. In fact, we're just going to copy this entire line here and paste that in, and then instead of original transfer hex, we're going to use selected hex. Because selected hex is the one that we're interested in. And realistically, that should, I think, work just fine. Now we're going to have to rerun this, of course. But that is a much more robust solution, and one that we added after the other issues, or not really issues, but after we added in the previous method of selecting hexes. This is just a much more robust way of doing it. Okay, go ahead and unrun this. And I mean, technically we could... well, no, that would still cause issues. I was going to say we could just turn on the hex selection window and see if we have problems on run, but it's still going to return null if it falls through both of these, so that's still going to give us problems. But theoretically, as long as we are in vehicle transfer mode, it should be fine. Otherwise, if we're not in vehicle transfer mode and we zoom out, we should probably turn that off. Right? Maybe. Well, hang on. I just, before I test this, I want to check. When we go into our building hex, if we right-click to zoom out, what do we end up doing? We just set selected subhex to null. Yeah, I think this is fine. Sounds good to me. Okay, we're going to go right up on this tip of this little peninsula here. Go in here. We're going to purchase ourselves this brewery. Actually, we need to demolish it. Demolish it for 300 bucks. There we go. Construct ourselves... whoa. No. Construct ourselves a postal office. Bam. And we're going to need to get ourselves more money again. 12,550 is good enough. Okay. So we'll select this guy, buy a vehicle, zoom out. Look at that. No error. We'll go down here. Come in here, select this guy, land management, buy land, bam, we'll purchase this hex, we'll go ahead and demolish it, and say we're moving our post office. We'll have to build a new one, but we can move our truck over for free. So this is currently empty, and then we can come up here, and this hex right here has a delivery vehicle. We can select the delivery vehicle, transfer vehicles, zoom on out. Now, we did exit transfer vehicle interaction mode there, which is not ideal. We'll come on in here, re-enter transfer vehicle mode, go bam, and then, yeah, we're still in vehicle transfer mode. We're going to have to exit vehicle transfer mode when we perform the transfer, that's right. But it did transfer over. Perfect. And you'll notice we're not only transferring biome hexes, we're transferring world hexes. It teleports over, and that's something we might not want to do immediately, or we might not want to have, but it's fine for now. So if we go back into here, when we actually do this, we should probably say business.interaction mode equals interaction mode.none. Reset that right on back. There we go. Which we already do up over, I believe, here? I'm not sure where we do it. We do it somewhere. And it shouldn't cause a problem to just pop it over into interaction mode.none. Okay, so vehicle transferring, I'm comfortable saying, is 100% working now. So that means that we've implemented purchasing, storing, and transferring of vehicles, which is what I intended to do this recording session. But this is only episode 6 of 8, and we're still in the beginning, so I need to come up with something else to do. Well, I think one thing that we could do is we could go through and implement a more robust error messaging system. Currently, what we do is we just output to the console here, which is fine for our purposes, but for gameplay, it is significantly less fine. So let's go ahead and create a UI text mesh pro text. And we are going to... Liberation Sands is fine for now. We'll go ahead and use a red color. And actually, I want to grab this font asset, which I believe is somewhere in here. PMP settings. I'm actually not sure where that font asset is located. Because I want to make a copy of it. Assets, Text Mesh Pro, Resources, Fonts, and Materials. Okay. Text Mesh Pro, Resources, Fonts, and Materials. Here it is. Okay, I want to duplicate this and call it Liberation Sands SDF Outline. Like that. Okay. Let's make sure that this didn't break everything. Okay. There we go. Text is back. Fantastic. So we're going to be using the Liberation Sands SDF outline version in hopes of being able to create ourselves an outline on this without outlining on everything else. And that does indeed appear to be the case. Excellent. So let's have this thing be bottom center. And I think a Y position of 0 for the anchor is good. And then we'll just place this somewhere like here-ish. Maybe about 75 pixels up. How does that look? That looks like that should be fine. And I'd like this to be stretch. Height of 50 should be good. And 860, 860. Let's try more like 500 by 500. And then let's just blah. I want to fill this up as far as we can. That's not that far, actually. It is size 36, so there is that to note. And no, I do want this color to be black on the outline. As far as the thickness on this goes, we'll try 0.15. See how that works. The other option is we could do an underlay. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and move this thing up here so that we can actually kind of see against something what it's doing. And then let's just move in close here and see what exactly this underlay does. It definitely does something down here, but I don't see anything up here. Ah, okay, this is a shadow. Yeah, excellent. So we'll do like 0.1 offset here and 0.1 offset here, negative 0.1. Yeah. I mean, there's a shadow option there. We could also just outline it. I think just outlining it is fine. Okay, let's give it a little bit more space. That should be good right there, I think. Maybe if we have it try to match this, so like 320 and 320. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And let's make sure that it is set up to be centered. There we go. And then let's just see how long this gets. Right there. That's how long it gets. That should be fine. Okay, so this is going to be simply error text. And we're going to go ahead and create ourselves a C# script. Call this error text. There we go. Place this on the... Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, nope, there we go. Place this on the error text object. Perfect. And go ahead and reload. That's fine. We'll open up the error text script. And I don't think it needs a start or an update exactly. I do think that we need to figure out how exactly we want to do this. It probably will fade out after a little while, but first thing we're going to need is public tmpro dot textmeshpro UGUI, and this will be the text, and then public void throw error, string error, float duration, float fade time, something along the lines of that. Okay. So, throws an error onto the screen. Error is the text of the error. Duration is the time before it starts to fade. Fade time is the time it takes to fade. Okay, so we're going to start with having duration be defaulted to about 4 seconds. And then the fade time default to 1 second. Something along the lines of that. Okay. So, let's go ahead and say text.text equals error. That's obvious enough. And then text.color equals color.red. And then we would do something like invoke, and then we would invoke a method. But I don't want to pass it as a string. Can we do like invoke with a delegate? That would be nice. Let's find out. Unity invoke delegate. Don't use monobehavior.invoke. Yeah, you're right. But what I want to do is blah, 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 blah. How? Because here's the thing. We're going to need a public IE numerator. And this is going to be fade 2. And then this is going to be float final alpha. And then float duration. Like that. And for now, it'll just be yield return null. But can we, like, start coroutine after a certain amount of time? Start coroutine. No. Like, we can do fade 2. And then final alpha would be 0, with the duration being fade time. I mean, we can also pass in a float start after. That would be fine. And then we would do duration, final alpha, float duration, or rather fade time. That should be fine. And then we can just pass in the error if we feel like being lazy, and if we don't feel like being lazy, we can specify a duration if it's a particularly long error or something. And let's see here. The other thing that I'm a little bit concerned about right now is that this can cover up these. So I'm thinking right now, maybe we should have it be off of the top of the screen. Like that. That seems fine to me. Fine-ish, anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a while true for right now. And then we will yield return null. Oh, come on. So we'll return the next frame. And then we'll say something along the lines of duration minus equals time dot delta time. If duration is less than or equal to 0f, return, or actually just break. Else, yield return null. And then it comes back next frame. Okay, so then that will tick down until the duration is done, and then it'll break out of the while loop. And then we can do something along the lines of for int I equals, actually we should do float. For float I equals 1f, I is greater than 0f. Why is this? I don't know. No, we should probably use a standard fade function here, is what I'm thinking. Something... Let's see. There's a particular script that I like a lot for doing this. I'm trying to find if I can see it in my... Here it is. Okay, I got it in my... What am I thinking here? There's a term. Code snippets folder? I use this one a lot, anyway. So anyway, we've got our final alpha. We know where we want to go. We should grab our initial alpha. So float initial alpha, or I guess we could say like current alpha, equals, and this is going to be text.color.a. And then we would say for float t equals 0.0f, t is less than 1.0f, t plus equals time.delta time divided by duration. So essentially, all we're going to do is we're going to fade this over time via a lerp, and we go between 0 and 1. So this just normalizes it so that we can go to any alpha, which is very convenient. So color, and we're just going to use new color, equals color.red to start with. And then new color.a we are going to assign manually. This will be equal to mathf.lerp, and this will be between current alpha. Let's see here. Current alpha, final alpha, and t. Like that. And then we would just yield return null. So after a certain amount of time, this will begin to fade out. And that should be it. Literally it. Now we do need to assign the text in the inspector here. So this Text Mesh Pro U GUI will need to be assigned. Like so. Fantastic. Okay. So now we can toss this into the business, which would be over here. But before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here. And next episode, we will implement the actual using of this error text with all of these replace me's. See you all then.